No, hi. I'm afraid you caught me running a bit late. I'm just driving to the studio to shoot a new edition of Silicon Graffiti. Hopefully you'll like this one as we get back into the video saddle. I know it's been a while. But first I have to dodge some crosstown traffic. Hi, this is Ed Driscoll. Welcome to Silicon Graffiti. Recently, the Washington Post announced that they were putting their weekly opinion magazine Newsweek up for sale. And at about the same time, CNN and CBS announced that they were in talks to consolidate their news operations. What ties these two stories together? Well, to paraphrase Eason Jordan, CNN's former chief news executive, all three outfits fell victim to the news they kept to themselves. Prior to the internet, it was easy for a newspaper or TV news division to bottle up news. As the box in the corner of the New York Times front page says, all the news that's fit to print, a slogan that dates back to the 1890s. And for much of the century to come, if it wasn't in the papers or on TV, it didn't happen. The monolithic news industry could sit on an inconvenient story and poof, just like that, it would go away. In January of 1998, though, Newsweek found out that that was no longer the case, when this item appeared on a heretofore little-known website called The Drudge Report, in a tone that harkened back to an earlier, more lively period of American journalism. Blockbuster Report, 23-year-old former White House intern sex relationship with president. World exclusive, must credit The Drudge Report. At the last minute, at 6 p.m. on Saturday evening, Newsweek magazine killed a story that was destined to shake official Washington to its foundation. A White House intern carried on a sexual affair with the President of the United States. The Drudge Report has learned that reporter Michael Isikoff developed the story of his career, only to have it spiked by top Newsweek suits hours before publication. A young woman, 23, sexually involved with the love of her life, the President of the United States, since she was a 21-year-old intern at the White House. She was a frequent visitor to a small study just off the Oval Office, where she claimed... In 2003, after then-President Bush had liberated Iraq from Saddam Hussein, then CNN chief news executive Eason Jordan wrote a mea culpa in the New York Times called "The News We Kept to Ourselves." He admitted that the news channel allowed Saddam Hussein's minions to censor the CNN feed coming out of Iraq in order to allow the anchorman to sign off on a regular basis from Baghdad. From Baghdad, this is Biff Anchorman reporting for CNN on the wonderfulness of Saddam Hussein and his firm but fair Ba'athist regime. Uday, Qusay, Tariq? Hey, was that okay? Whoa, hey fellas, what they say? Because CNN assumes that the viewer at home is a confused channel surfing dullard, visuals are more important to the network than actually delivering hard news. Particularly since a big part of CNN's job over the last 20 years has been propping up the transnational elite of the world. In 2004, then CBS anchorman Dan Rather decided that bringing down a sitting president was more important than delivering hard news, thus leading to the story called Rathergate, and eventually to a website called Pajamas Media.
Today, on the internet and elsewhere, some people, including many who are partisan political operatives, concentrated not on the key questions of the overall story, but on the documents that were part of the support of the story. They allege that the documents are fake.
In 2005, Newsweek similarly rushed a story to print, claiming that a U.S. interrogator at Guantanamo Bay flushed a Koran down the toilet to intimidate a captured prisoner. Once the world realized that that's pretty darn impossible to do, Newsweek would quickly issue a retraction on their story, but not before the outrage over its implications led to 15 people killed in riots in Afghanistan. This New York Post cover from back then says it all. Speaking of covers, by early 2009, after running an endless series of cover stories gushing about first candidate and then President Obama, Newsweek ran this now infamous cover. About 30 seconds afterwards, the Tea Partiers arrived to announce to the Democrats and the media, but I repeat myself, that no, we're not all socialists now. By that point, Newsweek's readership had shrunk so much that they began to seem like Spinal Tap at the end of their movie. You half expected to see signs welcoming the national touring company of The Wiz, Spinal Tap, and Newsweek. Meanwhile, back at CBS, like Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather before her, In 2009, something about being in the anchor chair at the CBS Evening News caused Katie Couric to ditch all pretense of objectivity.
Twas just weeks before Christmas, and what do you know? Senate Democrats are once again praying for snow. They won 60 votes to start the debate, but they're back to square one, and they just have to wait. Wait for blue dogs like Nelson and Lincoln, who say a public option would mean the economy sinking. Wait for Joe Lieberman, who says it won't pass, and hope Mary Landrieu can change her mind fast. The Republican votes right now total 0, but a trigger could make one woman a hero. The moderate who hails from the land way up north could save Harry Reid's Christmas with a deal she brought forth, urging government plans for when private ones fail. To think both sides happy, can both sides prevail? At this point, no compromise looms within sight. That means after Thanksgiving, it's on with the fight. Enjoy your turkey and know we'll be here to help make this tough topic just a little more clear. And that's a page from my notebook. I'm Katie Couric, CBS News.
Wow, nobody can accuse Katie of bias after a video like that. But then, the CBS Evening News, like CNN, like Newsweek, really is a liberal product crafted by liberals who don't want to admit that they're liberals. Or as Andrew Ferguson of the Weekly Standard wrote in 2009, quote, "While flipping through the pages of the new Newsweek, it began to occur to everybody that, hey, this is a pretty stupid idea for a magazine. Are there really 1.5 million magazine readers, the number of subscribers that editor John Meekum promised advertisers, who want a liberal opinion magazine written by liberals who don't want to admit that they're liberals?" Well, now we know. See, if you keep the news to yourselves for too long, or pump out fake news that you should have kept to yourself, eventually the public says, you know what? You can have it. For Silicon Graffiti, I'm Ed Driscoll. But before we go, a few words from CNN's Rick Sanchez. Take us out of here until next time, Rick.
Good job on the Situation Room today, as I'm sure you will do.
Thank you.
Up next, ad lib, a tease. That's what it says right here.
What a tease.